My paintings are modern paintings painted in traditional tools and in traditional techniques. I'm very much inclined to the history of art and influenced by the history of art, but I talk about our lives today and our existence today. My name is Amnon David, and I'm a figurative painter, originally from Israel, from Tel Aviv, but for the last 6 years have been living in Berlin, Germany, and exhibiting here in Europe. And I paint, I'm a painter, and I paint from real life. And everything that I paint are actually scenes that are part of the world that I'm living here in, and situations which I compose and organize in my own studio in order to tell something about the life that we're living today, and in order to say something about the kind of society that we are all living today, living in today. And this painting, for instance, is a second painting of a series of eventually six paintings, large-scale paintings, each one depicting a different stage in life. And in this exhibition you can see the first three of which I already finished, but this one is of course about death in its secular modern interpretation of how I see death should be portrayed in the kind of post-religious world we're living in. And eventually what I'm saying in this painting is that I don't believe that there is life after death. And all you're staying with is the riddle of life and death in a cold room filled with questions, unanswered questions. This painting, which is named Life Itself, is the first painting of a series of large paintings that I've been working on for the last few years and upon which I'm still working. And it depicts basically the middle age, like the age of about 40 in today's world, in which nothing is beautiful. If you look at this painting, nothing in this painting shows anything of beauty. It's all plastic. It's all industrially manufactured. She's coming back from work after a long day of being enslaved, basically, in order to make a living. And she's coming home and there's no beauty in her life, there's no happiness in her life. And all she has is a bill on the table. And in paintings in the 17th century, a letter would indicate, in most cases, a love story, which is outside of the painting. In my painting, the only thing that it indicates is that she got a letter from the bank or something, because this is the kind of life that we were living in today. We have everything, yet we have no beauty to fill it with. This painting is the third painting of the series of Life, which I finished. This is actually half a painting because the other half will be painted later. But the subject of this painting is a quote of a painting by Rembrandt, which is in the Mauritshuis in Hague, of King Saul and David, which is a quote of a biblical story in which young David is playing to the King Saul. In the Bible, the king is pretty happy with the playing of young David. In Rembrandt's painting, actually the king is crying listening to young David playing the harp, and you can see in his paintings that actually Saul is anticipating his own death and his own fall from grace. What I try to echo in this painting is exactly this feeling of the old looking back to his own life through the eyes of somebody young. And the next painting that is going to happen would be David playing the harp for him. So they will be actually facing each other. Now naturally I did this painting with a real person, and I had to actually buy the wheelchair and the Säuerstoff Flasche and all of that, and this was all organized in my studio for about half a year, 7 months, something like that. And it took me a very long time to actually find a model for that, because I needed someone in their 80s that would be capable of sitting like that an entire day for quite a long time. And eventually I found someone who was good-spirited enough to sit in an electric wheelchair, although he didn't really need it, and to portray this, actually sad moment in their lives. In 17th century Dutch painting, the subject of memento mori meant remember death. It was always a vanitas painting, which was about reminding the viewer that life is short and that everything that we're dealing with, money, success, fame, is vanity and will pass. I took a totally modern approach to that. In these paintings originally, in most cases, they used to paint a skull and sometimes a lit candle suggesting that life will end. What I took is a bottle of vodka shaped as a skull, which actually exists, it's a product. Quite an expensive vodka, by the way. And I organized it around elements of daily use, of capitalist daily use, forming a completely modern composition which actually says exactly the same as these paintings of the 17th century, but with a little bit more of a modern and humorous touch to it. What do we have here? We have plastic which pretends to look like metal, and we have a broken egg. This cat here, this Chinese cat, is actually a symbol of luck in Chinese culture, and it is normally put in shops in order to give the owner of the shop economic luck. On the other hand, a broken egg is a symbol of unluckiness. Now, what I did here is I actually took a subject which is completely artificial, which is completely plasticky and modern, and compared it with something which is organic. One of them, let's say the modern one, the plastic one, the ugly one, is supposed to portray luck, and the other one is supposed to portray unluck. And this is basically to show what sort of twisted world we live in which the portrayal of luck is given to plastic and to artificial artifacts.
Hier sehen wir eine kleine Reihe von Bildern, die man als Stillleben bezeichnen könnte, aber auch als Interieurs. Das Motiv ist eher banal, das ist überhaupt etwas Spezielles bei Amnon David, dass er eben, sage ich mal, sehr alltägliche Gegenstände in eine Bildwürdigkeit bringt, einfach ein Interesse an den einfachsten Dingen hat und dann dadurch aber auch aufzeigt, wie schwer zum Teil diese Sachen zu malen sind. So ein Stuhl mit seinen Glanzeffekten oder auch so ein Faltenwurf, das fordert schon auch handwerklich alles von dem Künstler. Und diese banal anmutenden Stillleben haben aber sage ich mal, wenn man länger schaut, bekommen sie auch eine symbolische Wirkung. Man kann sich Gedanken machen in der Abwesenheit des Menschen, warum hier diese Stühle stehen, für was sie stehen. Und wenn man dieses kleine Bild hier zum Beispiel anschaut, da haben wir so einen schwarzen Bürostuhl, der mag so für alle Ernsthaftigkeit im Leben stehen, für Steuererklärungen und Aufenthaltsgenehmigungen, während gegenüber ist so ein Cocktailsessel aus den 70er Jahren, der eben das ganz andere, ein ganz anderes Lebenskonzept symbolisieren mag. Und diese Spannung zwischen Kunst und Wirklichkeit wird ja auch im Titel der Ausstellung deutlich. Luftgeschäfte, ein Begriff aus dem Jiddischen, der meint eben ja eine Art brotlose Kunst. Und das mag allein in so einem kleinen Bild auch zum Ausdruck kommen. Ja, hier ein klassisches Selbstporträt von unserem Künstler Amnon David in einer sehr typischen Pose. Der Künstler, der sehr kritisch aus dem Bild herausschaut. Es ist natürlich auch der Blick in den Spiegel. Und so sehen eigentlich seit 200-300 Jahren alle Selbstporträts aus, also eine gewisse Selbstkritik und auch Skepsis mag hier zum Ausdruck kommen. Er selbst hat einen sehr großen Ehrgeiz, ist sich selbst ein größter Kritiker, das mag in diesem Bild zum Ausdruck kommen. Ja, drumherum haben wir die Situation in Berlin, diese schräge Mansardwand finden wir in vielen Bildern. Da sieht man, dass er eben in Berlin in seinem Atelier arbeitet. Und Berlin ist eben für ihn neue Heimat geworden. Hier haben wir ein Motiv, das hat er auch an einem gewissen Datum aufgenommen, und als er nämlich da gerade 40 Jahre alt wurde, glaube ich. Und er zeigt hier eine kleine Vedute von einer uns bekannten, vertrauten Kirche, die Gedächtniskirche. Natürlich hat Berlin auch sehr viel deutsche Vergangenheit, was für einen israelischen Künstler natürlich auch immer mitschwingt. Gleichzeitig sehen wir auch, sage ich mal, Berlin ist nicht an der Côte d'Azur gelegen, es ist eine eher graue Stadt im Norden Mitteleuropas. Er aber kommt aus Herzliya in Israel, hat das Mittelmeer erlebt und die Sonne des Südens, und er bringt in seinen meisten Bildern auch diese südliche Farbigkeit auch mit nach Berlin, und das macht ihn sehr, sehr attraktiv, finde ich auch, so sinnlich und nicht so depressiv wie so viele andere Bilder, die in Berlin gerne gemalt werden.